Hi guys, it's AngelBlade13. Welcome back to my Kingdom Hearts Final Mix walkthrough. Take a quick look at Sora's stats and equipment. Not really a change. Going through the doorway here will lead us to advance the story, but we're gonna head back to Olympus and take care of some mini-games first. So, for every cup we've completed, we now have the option for Sora to complete that same cup alone. We could have done any of these immediately after beating it the first time, but I wanted to get some levels, and as I said earlier, I want to make sure I get a good use for every Keyblade in the game, so here I'm going in with the Metal Chocobo. We're gonna go through each tournament. The fights are exactly the same, so I'm not gonna show every individual fight, but I'm just gonna go through a few. The enemies are at the same level as before, so you should be defeating a lot of these guys relatively easily. So if your level is about where I am, then the Phil and Pegasus Cup should give you really no difficulty, aside from maybe a couple rounds. The Hercules Cup should be fine, but I would say just be careful. And I should not have used Thunder there, but whatever. They're all
nothing
gone.
to it.
So there aren't a ton of rules for the solo cups. As I said, you're probably very over-leveled for these fights at the time, so they won't really do much damage to you. You can kind of deal with the enemies however you really want. Again, they're all fights that you've done before, if you did the tournaments, and if not, then you should still have a pretty easy time.
This should help.
It's over!
Obviously, taking your increase in level and abilities into account, I tend to find some of these fights particularly easier without Donald and Goofy for some reason.
Get this!
Okay, just come on!
Even though I didn't really use either of them in this fight, both Strike Raid and Ars Arcanum will be very helpful.
You don't stand a chance against me.
This is it!
It's over! It's over! No way I can lose.
That's the power of the Keyblade!
For the Hercules Cup, you just want to be a little bit more careful. The enemies are decently stronger. They won't always get one-hit KO'd by your spells, and they can do somewhat decent damage, so just be aware of that.
Thunder!
For this particular fight, I sped up again, but I recommend doing this for the tech points, and making sure you have full MP when you go into the fight with Cloud is pretty helpful too. So for the fight with Cloud, I'm going to attempt doing what I messed up in the regular version of the Hercules Cup. I'm going to get his health down to about 80% and then hit him with a full Ars Arcanum, and that should finish him off.
Take that.
There we go. And since the fight with Hercules was a one-on-one anyway, this is exactly the same as before.
Come on! Come on! Stop! Come on! Come on! Come on! Oh yeah!
Alright, we got a couple new abilities and leveled up a little bit. Now we have access to the time trial cups for each of the previous tournaments. For these, we have 3 minutes to complete the whole tournament. The timer stops in between each round, so you only have to worry about while you can actually move, which is a good part. Basically, I tend to think of it as averaging, as long as you can average really 20 seconds per each round, then you'll be good. Again, I'm not going to show every individual fight, because we've done all of them, and I'm just going to show some of the, some that I consider more difficult, I guess. And I'm going to try to go for a bit more of a mage setup with Sora, and it's going to be a lot of thunder spamming. So I'm going to use the Lady Luck Keyblade because it has the highest magic stat at the moment. Make sure you have a good deal of ethers. I'm going to change Donald so he is using his offensive spells constantly and set defensive back to the middle level. While you really don't need to memorize the exact fights as they come up, you really should have a good deal on what is coming up and what magic may be more effective in a certain situation. So, you're ready to set your shortcuts properly and have the magic menu preset to something that could work out pretty well. Either stop or gravity, usually. But I tend to mostly spam thunder as much as I can during these, and that usually works pretty well as long as I just watch my MP.
Here! Thunder! Ha!
This fight can be pretty problematic, to be honest. I tried to hit them with aerial gravity, but there I was low on MP. So I got rid of 2 of them. This is kind of bad, to be honest, so I'm gonna give myself an ether now. When they go invincible like this, you kind of just have to wait it out and just hit them as soon as they go back to their normal mode.
Come on!
So, lost some time, but still made it to Leon and Yuffie with a good deal of time left.
Get this!
Come and get this! Come on! Let's talk
Get this!
Come on! Thunder!
No way. I can lose.
Though the Hercules Cup can be kind of annoying even at this point for the time trial at least. Mainly because of Cloud and Hercules. The rest of the fight shouldn't really be an issue as usual.
Stop! Force! Ha! Ha! Here! Come on!
So for Cloud, you want to be a little more aggressive than before. Generally a good strategy, if you can time it correctly, is get him in a quick combo early and use Ars Arcanum, and then you want to get him down to, again, around 80%, and then use it again. Here I kind of messed it up, so he's going into Omni Slash. This shouldn't be too much of a problem, but you do have to wait through it each time, so you want to skip it when you can.
Here! Force! Come on! This should help.
For dealing with Hercules, if you haven't been using the stop strategy before, then you really want to use it now, because typically if you don't, then you will not have enough time to do enough damage unless you are very over-leveled at this point.
Come on! Here! Come on! That's the power of the Keyblade!
And just to show one more thing, for any of these tournaments, when you complete the regular solo and time trial, now you can choose one of them and select any individual fight if you feel like practicing on any of them. But we're set with everything here, so we're going to head back and continue on with the story. I'm going to switch to the Olympia Keyblade now. That's going to be extremely useful for the upcoming fights. Adjust some of my items, and make sure my magic shortcuts are set correctly. And just play around with abilities a little bit. And I've been playing for 13 hours now, so it's 1 o'clock in game. There's the Orichalcum. That was one of the prizes there we really wanted, and we're gonna head for the door and continue with the story. So, if your experience with Kingdom Hearts is similar to mine, you played this game when you were 12 years old, and you remember this upcoming boss defeating you about 50 times in a row, and having to watch the cutscene every time because we couldn't skip them on the original PS2 version. So first I'm gonna fight the boss normally, and then I'm gonna show a more aggressive way to deal with my repressed rage from my 12-year-old self.
Open your eyes!
It's no use. That girl has lost her heart. She cannot wake up.
What? You're not Riku?
The keyhole cannot be completed, so long as the last Princess of Heart still sleeps.
The princess? Kairi's a princess?
Yes. And without her power, the keyhole will remain incomplete. It is time she awakened.
Whoever you are, let Riku go! Give him back his heart!
But first, you must give the princess back her heart.
What's...
Don't you see yet? The princess's heart is responding. It has been there all along. Kairi's heart rests within you.
Kairi's inside me?
I know all that there is to know.
Tell me, who are you?
It is I, Ansem, the Seeker of Darkness. So, I shall release you now, Princess. Complete the keyhole with your power. Open the door. Lead me into everlasting darkness.
Sora! Forget it. There's no way you're taking Kairi's heart.
I'm about to beat this bitch up.
So here's Riku Ansem, or Riku 2. He still has the 4-hit auto counter, as we can see. He does start the fight out kinda similar to the previous fight with him, but he's clearly a lot faster and stronger. If you hit him with a fire spell, he will automatically shoot a dark Firaga ball back at you. When he takes a defensive stance, if you try to hit him, he'll just block it. If you do it a couple more times, he'll counter. Ours is really good at getting through this and dealing a lot of damage, as you just saw there.
Now witness true power.
Once you've taken away about a third of his health, he's going to go into a power-up mode, and all of his attacks are going to be increased. His slashing attack will shoot a projectile, which you can guard. You can actually keep him stuck in a loop with this 4-hit combo on the ground, but you guys won't see his moves if I do that, so... his downward jumping slash will shoot 2 shockwaves to the side, so be careful on your dodge rolls. Here's his ultimate attack, Dark Aura. If you actually just jump and glide over it, you can avoid most of the damage. You may get clipped once, but that's usually not too big of a deal. The counterattack ability with Olympus works very well. Then once he's down low, you can hit him with an Rs, and that should finish him off. So now I'm going to do the more aggressive strategy. Again, I'm going to be keeping track of how many times I hit him, so I have an idea of when he's going to counterattack. Usually, his counter is going to be parried by my finisher, so it should stay in a loop like that. Want to get him down to his power-up mode, and then I'm just going to go into the ground combo with 4 hits. If you don't have a combo plus equipped, you can still do this loop, but it's a bit harder. It involves 1 aerial hit, then quickly land, and then do a 3-hit ground combo, and you can keep him stuck here. And there's the revenge for 12-year-old me.
Riku!
The keyhole! It won't work! The keyhole's not finished yet!
What can we do?
Maybe we gotta go wake Kyrie up.
I think you're right. If we can free her heart... But how? A keyblade that unlocks people's hearts. I wonder.
Sora? Sora! Hold on!
What's happening to me? Falling into darkness.
Sora? Are you really? No, he can't be. I won't let him go!
So, you have awakened at last, Princess. The keyhole is now complete, You have served your purpose, but now it's over.
Do you think we can stop him all by ourselves?
I don't know.
Impossible. No! You won't use me for this!
Riku!
You've gotta run! The Heartless are coming!
What about the keyhole?
Let's just get out of here.
And I guess I'm a shadow now, so I think I want to follow Donald, Goofy, and Kyrie, so we'll just, I guess, retrace our steps here. Quick shortcut, if you just hop down that way, you can use this and exit right there. And you can really just jump down most of the way. You can't really activate anything, but if you go too low, you can activate one of the crystals to get back up to where you need to be. And we just want to head back to the entrance hall.
Heartless. Get lost, will ya?
Sora? Is that you?
Uh-oh!
This time I'll protect you. Sora!
Kyrie!
Kyrie, thank you.
Sora!
Sora!
Go now!
Come with us!
I told you before, I'm not leaving without Belle. Now go! The Heartless are coming.
Alright. Let's get out of here.
Tell me what happened. So the darkness is flowing out of that keyhole.
No wonder there are more and more Heartless everywhere. The only way to stop them is...
Seal the keyhole, right?
Maybe, but no one knows what will happen once it's sealed.
Well, we can't just stay here. We have to do something. I've got a friend back there.
That's right. You have one more friend to worry about. Riku's Keyblade must have been born of the captive princess's hearts. Just like that keyhole you saw. Of course, without Kyrie's heart, it remained incomplete. Once that Keyblade was destroyed, the princess's hearts should have been freed. Don't worry, Sora. If anyone can save your friend, you can.
So a bunch of crazy stuff just happened. I'm gonna mess with some abilities and hopefully show off some new things. We got the Ragnarok limit. That's the last limit Sora can do on his own. And we have a new finisher that I didn't really show off, Gravity Break. So I'm gonna use those, hopefully. I'll head out. And we need to go and talk with Sid. Now we're seeing Defenders and Dark Balls in Traverse Town, which we've never seen before. All of the worlds now have increased their battle level, and they're gonna have much more difficult enemies to deal with. And that includes the Olympus Coliseum Cups, so that's why I waited that long to do the solo and time trial cups, in addition to the Keyblade use. And here's Ragnarok. It brings me into an aerial combo attack, and at the end, using Impact, we'll shoot out a group of lasers. So, timing that is going to do a good deal of damage to groups of enemies. It's really helpful. Ours is going to be typically better against bosses, but play with Ragnarok in group situations, and it's going to be really helpful for a certain enemy later. But let's talk with Sid. Now, I'm gonna make sure to equip the Combo Master ability I just got. Combo Master is a really cool support ability that lets me continue my combo even if I don't hit an enemy. And that's going to work both on the ground and in the air, so it's really useful. Once we're done, we head back to the secret waterway. Kairi's looking at something, so we're gonna check that out, but first, there's another White Trinity here. And talk with her. Just gonna head over that way.
A light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, your grandma's story, right?
That's right. We were together.
You know what's funny? I looked everywhere for you, but you were with me all along. Finally, we're together, Kairi. Now, it's time to get Riku back.
You think it'll ever be the same again between us? Riku's lost his...
When I turned into a Heartless, you saved me, remember? I was lost in the darkness. I couldn't find my way. As I stumbled through the dark, I started forgetting things. My friends, who I was. The darkness almost swallowed me. But then I heard a voice. Your voice. You brought me back.
I didn't want to just forget about you, Sora. I couldn't.
That's it! Our hearts are connected. And the light from our hearts broke through the darkness. I saw that light. I think that's what saved me. No matter how deep the darkness, a light shines within. I guess it's more than just a fairy tale.
Well, let's go!
You can't go.
Why not?
Because it's way too dangerous.
Come on, Sora. We made it this far by sticking together. You can't go alone.
Kairi, even if we're apart, we're not alone anymore, right?
I can't help?
You'd kind of be in my way.
Okay. You win. Take this. It's my lucky charm. Be sure to bring it back to me.
Don't worry, I will.
Promise?
Promise.
Don't ever forget. Wherever you go, I'm always with you.
We could go back to Sid now, but we're gonna stop in with Merlin and talk with the Fairy Godmother first. In the last episode, we got the Firestone for beating Dragon Maleficent, and we're going to use it. So, this is the last summon in the game, and we get a weapon for Donald. And we're really all set here. We're going to head back and talk with Sid. So as Chip and Dale mentioned, there's a new warp hole, and that's where we want to go. But as you can see, all the worlds have significantly increased their battle levels. Neverland, Agrabah, and Olympus seem particularly high, so we'll keep that in mind. Let's just stop by Neverland. I think another hour's gone by at least, so I should be able to get another prize. But I can't land at the clock tower. That's weird. I guess we'll figure that out later. So we're gonna just head back to Traverse Town, and then we're going to go into that new warp hole. Now, we need to make it back to the room where we fought Riku. We have to do it the long way. I'm gonna keep Donald in the party for now because we have a few more Trinities that we want to use. You'll notice there's a new bubble here that we can jump into for another chest. Back up this way, if you've been following this, that should be the last white Trinity. We're gonna make it back. I'm going to be skipping some footage, and I'll only keep something if I show something new, really. First, we want to head back to the library for a special scene. You can wait till you finish the world to do this, but I'm just going to do it now for the sake of it.
Oh, Belle!
Now, make sure that you talk with Belle. And we get the Divine Rose Keyblade. This is arguably the best storyline Keyblade in the game, though best one that we don't have to do any big side quests or anything for. Alright, with the enemies clear, I'm gonna activate this crystal to set it back to lower level. And now, when I activate this machine, I'll go down, deal with these guys. We saw that I got an ability, Stun Impact. That's another combo finisher. Personally, I think as far as a crowd control move, it's the better option to use. And it basically does what it sounds like. It has a chance of stunning enemies that it hits. It's a pretty close range attack, but since you're mostly doing physical attacks at that point, then it's pretty useful.
Come on!
So deal with these enemies, and we're gonna first take this one to the dungeon, and we can see the blue trinity that we found with Beast earlier.
Come on!
Now use this one to head to another section of the lift stop. A mithril and a bunch of MP balls. Not bad. Alright, so we're gonna continue heading back up to the room where we fought Riku. I'm gonna skip ahead through most of it. In this area, we actually have something important.
Come on!
So, here's the Trinity in the last video that I said was potentially the best one in the game, because that gives us 2 cottages and a Mega Elixir. So, if you've been following this walkthrough all the way through, and let's just check our journal for a moment, then that was the last Trinity. We've got all of them. And from doing the solo and time trial cups, we have the minigame section complete. Alright, back in the Castle Chapel area, we can talk with the princesses if we want. So save up and set your party the way you want. I'm gonna bring Beast.
Force!
We're gonna be dealing with some random enemies in this room now, and there's a couple chests that we can grab. We're going to start on this side for dark matter.
Force!
So head up this way, and we get another Keyblade, Oblivion, very strong Keyblade as well. And over here, we got another chest. And if you've been following this walkthrough, again, all the way through, then we now have all the puppies, so we can stop by the Dalmatians house when we finish up with this world. Oh, this is kind of annoying. You see, in addition to the wizard there are these two other enemies. They're called stealth soldiers. They're the special world enemy for Hollow Bastion. They're basically soldiers, but they start out invisible until you use something like stop on them. They have more health, they can hit a lot harder. They do drop a special synthesis item that we want to get quite a few of later, so it's good to pick that one up for now, and we'll discuss dealing with those more later. So, use a cottage if you need, set yourself up however you think you want, and as far as shortcuts, Arrow and Cure are the only ones that are really going to be relevant to you in this case. And then pretty much just head through the door when you're ready. So here's the final boss of Hollow Bastion, the Behemoth. You want to jump up on his back, cast Aurora, do a couple of attacks, and then go into an Rs. That'll do a lot of damage pretty quickly. He'll go into sort of a stun state where his horn will be easier to hit. Then it's going to go invincible for a moment. He'll do this lightning attack. And then you really just want to repeat that process. The horn's going to be invincible for a few moments right when he recovers, but it's just a few seconds really. he starts charging energy here, where he makes energy balls rain from the sky. You can interrupt it if you do enough damage quickly enough, but it's not too big if it goes off. Then you just want to sort of repeat. This is a very easy fight. The boss is really strong, but it attacks so slowly, so you really shouldn't have any sort of issues with it.
Come on! Let's go!
Finish it with an R's.
Now let's go and seal that big keyhole.
Sora, you did it. We may never meet again, but we'll never forget each other.
No matter where we are, our hearts will bring us together again.
Besides, I couldn't forget you even if I wanted to.
What's that supposed to mean?
Hurry! Come and close the keyhole!
Sora, good luck.
So we're all finished up with Hollow Bastion. We're gonna have to chase Ansem somewhere. You can adjust your equipment however you want. And before we leave, we're actually going to head back to the library. There are a couple more items and abilities we can get. So Aerith is here now, so we're gonna talk with her a few times. Alright, that was quite a few Ansem reports. Let's see if she has anything else. Keep talking with her. And eventually she gives you the max form of Kiraga. Alright, turns out I forgot to do this in my initial recording, so I had to go quickly redo it. Now we can go back to that entrance in the library, and we can use this machine again, and take that long path. Might be wondering, why are we going back this way? You'll see shortly. If you activated the blue crystal that you can see in the left corner, sort of, then when you go up this way now, you're going to be going down the other pathway. And now we can access that chest that we couldn't get to before. And with that, we're all finished with Hollow Bastion. We're going to head back to Traverse Town for one quick thing. Turns out there's another tournament going on at Olympus at the moment. First, we're going to stop and drop off the rest of the puppies. Alright, so we got quite a lot for gathering the rest of the Dalmatians. The most important were the Orichalcum, and we got Arrow to its max level. And now we can just see the Divine Rose Keyblade in action. It's very strong.
Fire! See ya! Come on!
These guys. And I'm going to summon Mushu for the first time. Alright, so with Mushu, you lose the ability to attack normally, but you get this triangle reaction of Fire Breath, which just continues shooting a barrage of fireballs as long as you hold the button down. You have to redo it if anything hits you during that time. It can be pretty helpful against groups, and sometimes it can be helpful against bosses if you set it up correctly. So we're getting pretty close to the end. Let's check through the journal. We got the Dalmatian, Trinity, and minigames set. Let's quickly look at the journal entry for the Behemoth. All 99 found. Again, look through Trinities. And you can see the times that we got for the various time trials. Alright, that's going to be it for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, consider subscribing to the channel, comment, share with a friend, all the good things. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.